guys, in today's video you're going to learn about how user experience is really important for product managers to consider. Stay tuned. Firstly, for people who do not know what user experience is, it's about how you as a product manager make sure that users have a positive experience while using the product. Now I have done a video explaining this in detail alongside what's the difference between UX, which is user experience, and UI, which is user interface. I'm going to link it above. Would highly recommend checking that out if you're hearing this term for the first time. But why is user experience such a thing? Like, why do people keep talking about it in the product space? Especially, why should product managers be worried about user experience? If I were to oversimplify it, user experience can result in the success or failure of a product. Quite simple, right? But in the elaborate terms, it's because of the following reasons that user experience is really important. First reason being customer satisfaction. Good user experience means that a customer is satisfied while using your product. If a customer is satisfied, they are going to come back to your product again and again. They are going to recommend the product to their peers because they just like it so much. They are going to become the advocates for your product automatically, and they're going to leave very positive reviews about it if they are really invested in it and if they have a really great positive experience. So customer satisfaction is really most important thing why user experience is so critical for a product manager to consider. And obviously, needless to say, if a customer is very happy while using your product, it's going to have a very positive impact on the business, on the revenue, because more usage the product generates, more opportunity you have for driving revenue out of it. Customer satisfaction is the first point why user experience is very important. Second reason user experience is important is because it leads to user engagement. So if the user experience is good, which means the person loves using your product, it's solving that one particular pain point, which is why the user is using your product, they are going to come back again and again. The retention curve is just going to go higher. Like, you will have those returning users again and again, and they're just going to love your product, and it's really going to be very beneficial for you. So a product manager who's when researching about what product features should they build, they have to keep in mind what the user experience should look like, because that is the main key driver for things like user engagement. Yes, you might do several things to acquire the users, like once the users are in the system, as quickly as users enter the system, double the speed can they leave the system as well if the user experience is not great. So as a product manager, you would really want to make sure that you have all the bells and whistles in place to keep the users engaged and within the platform as much as possible. So the second reason why user experience is important is because of user engagement. Now, the third reason why user experience is important is because of the competitive advantage. Similar to your product, there are going to be at least 4 or 5, if not more, competitors out there in market. Don't be surprised, that's the truth of it. That's really going to happen. You are not the one who's building only product in this entire world. Even if you are, that's only going to last for a few months, and there's going to be a competitor a few months down the line. So you are always going to be in the competitive space. What is going to help you differentiate from that competitive market is the user experience. If a user really feels good, I think all of these points which I'm saying, it's about user feeling really good, resulting into different points that I'm saying. If a user really feels good while using your product, that is how you're going to have a competitive advantage. So a product manager in the competitive company, if they're not thinking about user experience, that person is going to lose over you who's thinking about user experience. Even if, let's say there are two products, product A, product B, competitor A, competitor B. Now this one, it has 10 features which a user wants. This one, it has 7 features which a users want. This one's user experience is not great, which means people are not loving it. This one's user experience is great, people love it. This one is also always going to win because their experience is great, even though few features are missing. They provide feedback, the PMs and the company can build those features over time. They know even for the new features, my experience on the product is going to be great. So a product manager who's considered user experience while researching and is building based on the user experience is always going to win over the competitors who have the similar feature set. So the third reason why user experience is great is because that's how you're going to differentiate yourself from your competitors. Now, a fourth reason why user experience is really important is results in reduced development costs. What this means is, if the user experience is great, yes, you've considered what are the basic needs or what are the basic problems you're trying to solve for a user. Alongside that, you're also making sure that the user is happy using the product. That is how you're going to make sure that users are automatically able to solve their own problems when they're using the product, which means it results into very less time consumed on the customer support side. If on the other hand there is a product, every time they want to try out a new feature, they have a number of questions. They are so confused about how do I use this, how is this going to fit in my ecosystem, and all of that. Product is not a good product. A product needs to consider the user experience, and that is how they're going to be able to self-learn and result into the less time spent on the customer support, which is the time you could otherwise spend on building new features as opposed to explaining people on how do you use the older features. So this is really going to be helpful. So I have done a video before talking about what exactly is a product and actually links to all the things that a user should feel when they're using the product. The user should feel accomplished, empowered, secured, inclusive. The point which we are discussing now is inclusive. So you want to make sure that the user feels inclusive while using the product. I'm going to link the video above. Feel free to check that out. It's going to be really helpful because it's related to what I'm currently talking. So the fourth reason why the user experience is important is reduce the development cost. Now the fifth and the last reason why user experience is really important is because it leads to better decision making. So a product manager who understands the user's needs, they understand the patterns and the behavior of how a user interacts with a particular product, they are always going to be able to leverage that, build out the features, bugs. They're going to be using all of that data to do anything further that they want to do with the product. So it's really going to help them in decision making. Now this can lead to a great product market fit, which means you are building a product which is fit for the market that you are, and as a result increased revenue. So the fifth reason why user experience is really important is because it aids the product managers in decision making. In summary, a product manager who prioritizes user experience to build their product is going to see success with their product. I'm going back to the simpler definition that I gave for user experience. User experience can make or break your product. So as a product manager, you should make sure that you're considering all these parameters whenever you are building the product. And if you're considering the parameters, if the user is happy while using your product, it's automatically very beneficial for the business, for the revenue that you want to generate out of the product. So overall, it's a win-win situation. So whenever you're researching about it, whenever you are building out the features, make sure you consider user experience and not just worry about colors and fonts you want to use on it. You have to include user experience in your research and think through that angle. So I hope you all can relate to it. If not, do let me know via comments. Until then, see you all next week. Bye-bye.